Just joining us, I'm Rachel Economy, and I am doing a series of taster videos for my pre-recorded online video course called Narrative Futures Design, which is a course designed to help individuals and team leaders in companies and organizations do some big picture imaginative visioning about the parts of strategic planning and futures thinking that often get neglected in the urgency of the everyday, and then design backwards from those futures into the present with actual design and strategy for what we're going to do to implement and move towards those futures. So I am doing kind of a ride along as I go through each section of the course to give you a sense of what's in there. And also I do an activity, just one activity from each section. Most of them have multiple activities. And you can do the activity along with me to see if it resonates. And if it does, the course is over at racheleconomy.com/classes. And if you're watching this in November or December of 2022, it is on sale, 30% off for with code winter30. And I sound funny saying all of that because I said it in the last video, but I don't know if you saw that. So I feel a little bit like a broken record, even though it might be all new to you. Anyway, all right, so I'm here in section 2, lesson 2, and this lesson is called Needs and Strategies. So we came out of section 1, we did basically an assessment and observation of where do I need narrative futures design practices. And for me, it was a bunch of big picture stuff. So like my dream homestead that is disability accessible, my partnership long-term, where is home long-term, problems, questions that are big picture, and also I'm really struggling with how to connect what I want with the parameters of the world right now and what feels like constantly being distracted by daily problems. So here we are in section 2, Needs and Strategies, and this basically goes over a framework that I learned actually from nonviolent communication. And I always want to caveat that with saying the way that nonviolent communication gets taught or deployed is really varies and impacts people differently. So I am not here to ever police how you speak. That is not the way I use nonviolent communication. To me, it is a framework about deepest human needs, longings, and values, and then ideas for ways to meet them. So it's actually, for me, less of a communication framework and more of a listening and design framework. So it's about how I listen, but it's also about how I feel into what my needs are, find out what my needs and values are, and then design a life that better embodies, enacts, prefigures those needs and values. And we can do this at an individual level or an organizational level. So I'm going to do this one out loud. We've got the videos here. Why and how to tell the difference, needs and values mapping tool, how to brainstorm strategies, which are different than needs. And then we go over it all because this way of thinking isn't always familiar to folks. So there's a needs and strategies brainstorm activity and a needs and values mapping activity. And I'm just going to take you through the needs and strategies activity with me. So here it is. Let me move my video so you can see. And basically identifying needs and strategies and differentiating between them. So the first part of the activity is to jot down, really briefly, something that's really working or really not working for you right now. Because this is practice at differentiating and identifying needs and strategies, don't choose the most emotionally charged thing. So I give some examples like my morning routine or my desk setup. For me, it's going to be toothbrushing, right? So this wasn't something from my map that was really important to me, but it does matter. And so I'm not going to have to work through the extreme emotional charge while I'm learning this tool. I want to have this tool under my belt before I take it to something that's a little bit bigger. So I would write down, I'm really failing to brush my teeth because the time when I need to brush my teeth at night is the time when my chronic fatigue is the worst. And also it is too much sensation for me at that point in the day. I know that sounds funny, but it's true. So I've been trying to brush my teeth in the mornings, but then they don't sit for very long without food on them because then I eat quickly. All right, so that's a really simple problem. It's something that's really not working for me. You could also choose something that's really working, like, oh my gosh, I love my house. I just love it. It's like so delicious to wake up there, and it's really just working for me. So then, using the universal human needs partial list, because universal is not really true. We all have different needs, but we also all have a lot of overlapping needs. So using this resource, which does come from baynvc.org, I am going to try to sort of detective out what needs are underlying the problem I wrote down. So I said my toothbrushing routine. So my problem comes from a need for access, rest, sensory like regulation, hygiene, health. Our teeth are a really big part of our health. I need like reliability. And the problem is coming from lack of access to that reliability because of timing. So my core desire is to easily brush my teeth every day because I'm really needing hygiene and also hope. I need hope about my health. I'm really worried about my teeth. And all you got to do for this section is just jot down 1 to 3 core needs. So I just listed a lot there. Just jot down 1 to 3. So health, access, reliability. That's what I'm looking for. You might add pleasure if it's something you're having trouble doing. Your success might include pleasure. Pleasure is a core human need. All right, so those are needs. And if you look at the universal human needs list, you'll see some other examples. We've got air, food, health, but we've also got acceptance, care, compassion, inspiration, hope, consistency. That's what I need. Right? So there's a lot of different things that can be named as either like a core need or a core value. Then, once I've identified my 3 that I'm playing with for this activity, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to brainstorm 10 different ways to meet that need. These are strategies. They are the ideas for how, tangibly, to meet that need. And they don't need to be good. We're just thinking of a bunch of different ones. So here's my brainstorm. I could get a mouthwash and just mouthwash at night. I could brush with coconut oil at night because that doesn't have the sensory overwhelm. I could brush with like a bedside water bottle situation so that if I was really fatigued, I could still do it without needing to be upright because orthostatic intolerance is something that I deal with. I have trouble being upright sometimes. I could brush my teeth like throughout the day repeatedly so that even if they didn't get to sit for a long time, I still took care of them. I could get a buddy, an accountability buddy for my toothbrushing. I could always brush my teeth when I give my dog her dental treat so it felt like a fun thing we were doing together. I could create a rewards system to build the habit again. I've done this before where, I earn a sticker every day. I brush my teeth at night. And once I've earned a certain number of stickers, that means I get to do X thing or buy Y thing. It doesn't have to cost money. So those are some of my strategy ideas to meet my needs for access, reliability, and health. All we're doing here is differentiating that my need is not to brush my teeth at night. My need is health, access, and reliability. The strategy might be brushing my teeth at night, but it could be even more specific, right? It might be totally different from what the prescribed strategy is. So go ahead and go through this, right? Write or jot down something that's really working or not working. What underlying core 1 to 3 needs does that thing arise from? Remember that the thing itself might be a strategy. So brushing my teeth, not a core need. Oral hygiene, core need. Then brainstorm 10 different ways to meet those needs, and these are strategies. So I love to do this all the time because when we get attached to particular strategies, our imagination narrows about other ways to meet our needs, right? There's always lots of ways to meet our needs. Now, what's available to us will depend on our circumstances, the systems and culture that we are in, but the differentiation between the two can be really helpful in being able to be creative about it once again. So I hope you enjoyed this activity. If this is resonating for you, but you're wondering what it has to do with narrative futures design, we're going to connect it up to the future and to the creative narrative practices, as well as the design thinking practices in the next few sections. So keep an eye out for the next video for those. And in the comments, let me know what core needs did you find out were underneath your success or problem? And what strategies did you think of that surprised you for meeting those needs? I'll see you next time. Unless that wasn't recording at all. No, it was. Okay, great. See you next time.